What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So what a day it was in the markets today. S&P 500 up 0.9%, Dow Jones up 0.8%, and the Nasdaq went up 0.5% as the Russell 2000 led the way, up over 2.3% on the day. And in this video, we're going to be talking more about the stock market, breaking down some technicals, going over a bunch of stocks that I'm looking to buy right now. And I want to share with you guys what I've been doing in the stock market, stocks I own right now, and in general, where my head is at as a trader and as an investor. So if you guys find value, smash that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, and feel free to support the channel further by picking yourself up 4 free stocks from WeBull, link down below. All you have to do is deposit $100, and you literally get 4 free stocks valued up to $1,600. So let's get into it, guys. S&P 500 today hit yet again another all-time high, just a little bit shy of 3,700. We came at 3699.2, and that comes on the back of an all-time high yesterday. If you guys remember, yesterday we hit an all-time high at 3682, and the second we hit that high, literally a second after, we tanked about 25 points. And you guys know at this point, I'll say it here just refresh, we have a problem going on with Pfizer, right? They were initially supposed to planned to ship 50 million V shots by year end meaning 2020. Actually, no, that's what they are shipping, 50 million. Originally, they were supposed to ship 100 million. So they're having a supply chain issue, which is why the stock market fell yesterday heading into the close. And although we are seeing that supply issue in 2021, they're still looking to do more than 1 billion doses, right? So here we're seeing some supply chain problems. Later on, 2021, it should be fine based off what we're seeing here from Pfizer and BioNTech. But the market saw a sudden drop when we got that news. And take a look here on the 5-day, 5-minute. S&P 500, ever since we dropped and we held that higher low yesterday and gapped up this morning, and we hit an all-time high later on at the close of the market as well, we're actually perfectly trading in this channel here on the 5-day, 5-minute, right? We held support at 36.45. Yesterday, we held support at 36.60, right at a higher low, and we just hit a higher high and hitting that all-time high at the close of the market pretty much at about 3,700. So this channel's playing out like clockwork. And for next week, what I'm looking out for is, okay, are we going to break the resistance of this channel, maybe hit 3,700, 3,750, go higher, right? If we break that resistance of the channel, that's going to be very bullish in the markets, right? Or are we going to see a bit of a cool-off, right? We are getting a bit overbought here. RSI is getting close to 70, so maybe we pull down here on the 5-day, 5-minute, and maybe we go back and test, let's say, 36.70 for another higher low test, on the support of this uptrend channel. So keep your eyes on this for SPX, right? And when it comes down to SPY, which is an ETF that tracks the S&P 500, right? We're seeing the same thing. You guys can see if I remove this drawing, I draw a little uptrend right here. We're seeing a similar channel being built, right? We hit a higher high today at 369, and I wouldn't be too surprised if we don't break 370, we don't break that resistance of this channel, that, hey, we might be going down to 366, 367, test the support of the channel, and go from there, right? So overall, with the SPY, S&P 500, both of these, right, the ETF and the index, we're looking at this 5-day, 5-minute channel. And when it comes down to the Dow Jones Industrial Average, if we pull out here to the 4-hour chart, what we're noticing is we hit an all-time high today. Actually, you could probably see it better on the 20-day chart, right? We broke 30,100. That was a resistance back from the 24th of this month. It was also a resistance from a couple days ago, actually yesterday, right? 3,100 is where we were at right before the close of the market, and a couple days ago on the 1st of December. So the fact that the Dow squeezed out of this resistance, the ascending triangle we called out yesterday played out. This is very bullish, right? Dow Jones could be going higher. I mean, hey, we could be going 30,500, maybe 31,000. Who knows? But all I know is that this is bullish, the fact that it broke 30,100, and there could be some more upside. And when it comes down to the good old tech-heavy NDX, Nasdaq 100, we've still been struggling a little bit here, right around 12,500, 12,038, or 12,538. That general area, we've struggled ever since the beginning of this month, right? Once, twice, 3, 4 times is how long we've been getting rejected there. But what you're noticing is, okay, despite the fact that we are seeing resistance at 12,500, we're uptrending into that resistance, right? Kind of like that Dow Jones pattern that you guys can see, right? The ascending triangle, we uptrended into the resistance, then bursted out. I think that could happen here with the Nasdaq 100, no doubt about it, right? We're uptrending into the resistance, 12,500. If we break that, that could be a breakout pattern on the Nasdaq. And shout out to the Russell. The Russell hit yet again another all-time high here. Small caps, mid caps have been crushing it, guys. So Russell 2000 is doing well, but I'd argue that it needs a pull down, right? Maybe close to, I'd say 1685, 1700, maybe 1750. That would be a healthy spot, in my opinion, for the Russell. And we also got news today, economic news. U.S. Labor Department's November jobs reflected the lowest, or the slowest rather, pace of job growth since April's record virus-induced drop in employment. You guys remember, it was terrible back in April, and ever since then, the jobs being added back have slowly been shrinking. Let's just put it that way, right? Non-farm payrolls grew by just 245,000 this month in November, sharply missing the 460,000 expected, right? And it makes sense, right? Because when we first saw this crisis occur, a lot of jobs were lost. In the months following that, a lot of jobs were gained back, right? I think May was a big month, June was a big month, and ever since then, the jobs added have been decreasing, right? So keep that in your head, and let me know down below in the comments, guys. What are your thoughts on the markets in general? S&P, Nasdaq, Dow, Pfizer news, this economic news we just ran down, the jobs report. Drop me a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts, plus whatever you guys are doing out there. When it comes down to what I'm doing out here in the stock market, guys, truth is today I didn't do much. You guys know yesterday I locked in profits on NEO and Facebook, so I made my money this week, and I'm just simply holding on to the positions I already have. And what I do typically on Fridays are I don't rush things, right? And a lot of the times I don't even take new positions on Friday because, okay, it's the end of the week, and most of the time if I made money that week already, which in this case I made money this week, I don't like jeopardizing those profits unless I really see an incredible setup. And today, honestly, I didn't see any incredible setup, so I'm simply just holding on to my positions, and I'm having a good amount of cash on the sidelines as well, waiting for an opportunity, maybe next week, the week after. But overall, I'm in Workhorse, guys. Ticker symbol WKHS, in around 22 bucks. We're right at my cost basis here on Workhorse. I think there is a lot of potential from $22 to $25 on this stock. Now that we close above 22, I think we could fill that gap up to 25. Another one that I'm in, which is my best performer that I currently own, is Apple, AAPL. I'm in at about $112. This one went down 0.5% today, but overall, ever since we broke this wedge on the 4-hour chart, which, by the way, we called this breakout, right? This thing has been exploding. I've been making some money there. And honestly, we are seeing a bit of a pull down, so maybe a test at about 120 could be where we're coming up here on Apple, which, who knows, maybe I'd buy a little bit more there on the dip and average up into the momentum. So Workhorse, Apple, SLV is another one that I'm still in. SLV is a silver ETF here. It tracks the price of silver, so I have a little bit of hedge there with precious metals. And EA is another position that I'm in. Went up 31 cents today, closed a little bit under $129. This is one that's been slowly breaking out the past couple of trading days out of the 50 SMA, 180 SMA, $124 level of resistance as well here on the 4-hour chart. So I'm very happy with this. I think EA is heading back north of $130. That's my honest opinion, and I'll probably add more into that momentum as we are getting closer to my cost basis now, right around $132 per share. So that's what I'm doing. Again, nothing crazy on Fridays. I don't like forcing anything, but I still want skin in the game. Again, I'm in Workhorse, Apple, silver, and EA. So drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys are doing. Did you make any moves? And what's your philosophy around, trading on Fridays if you're already up for the week, right? What's your philosophy around that? Let me know your thoughts down below. So now I have about 10 stocks I want to bang out that I'm looking to buy that I think are pretty attractive in terms of their setups. Number one, here's Microsoft. You remember that Apple pattern that I had drawn out? Let's go back to Apple really quickly. You guys see this wedge here? I've been talking about this like crazy. Let me just redraw this actually. You guys see this wedge, right? That played out on the 4 hour. We broke out and saw a nice big game from that 116 breakout. Well, I think Microsoft is setting up for the same move, right? We're in the wedge, lower highs, but at the same time, we're making higher lows. And I think ultimately, if 216 breaks, 218 breaks, I think we can break out into the 220s, 225, 230 area here on Microsoft. And at this point, we haven't quite yet gotten the confirmation. We're just squeezing deeper and deeper into the wedge. But I'm going to set an alert. Let's put an alert here at about 218. If 218 can hit, that is where I'm looking to maybe add an initial position on that upwards momentum. Let's see if we get some volume with that as well. We'll see how it goes down. But overall, Microsoft, I think, is a breakout candidate. And honestly, it's been beaten down, not as much as some other stocks out there, but it's down a good chunk from its high, down about 7-8%, almost 9-10% here from its high back at 232. So Microsoft is one that I'm interested in here. CRSR is another one, Corsair Gaming, guys. And they actually design, market, and distribute gaming and streaming peripherals, components, and systems in the Americas, Europe, the Middle East, and the Asia Pacific. So they're all over the world here. The company offers gamer and creator peripherals, including gaming keyboards, mice, headsets, and controllers, as well as capture cards, studio accessories, and others. It also provides gaming components and systems comprising power supply units, cooling solutions, computer cases, and DRAM modules, as well as pre-built and custom-built gaming PCs. And you guys can understand the bullish case around Corsair, right? CRSR here. A lot of people are pent up in their houses, gaming, and they want to just deck out their computer system, their PCs, right? And just build these awesome setups, right? I'm that guy. I don't have an awesome setup, but in the future, when, hey, maybe I get a new office setup or something like that, I definitely want to just deck out and have an awesome setup, and I'll probably pick up some Corsair products, and we understand why they're doing well, right? We're in this crisis, people are at home, gaming, this, that, the third, it makes sense. And when it comes down to the stock, it went from $13 back in September all the way to $52, and I'll be the first to tell you, and I'm sure you can agree, that was really overbought, and now we're seeing the correction. And what we're noticing is, okay, we're still making lower highs, we're dropping, but we're holding a higher low here on the 4 hour, right on this uptrend, as illustrated here on the 4 hour by this trend line that I have set out. So this is interesting, right? And if I zoom in a bit here on the hourly chart, you can see it even better. What are we going to do? Are we going to break out of this 50 SMA, 180 SMA, and then get into, let's say, 38 to the 40 level, right around where this oval is drawn? If that happens, that could be breakout territory, right? If we break out of this wedge to the upside. So that's kind of what I'm watching here on Corsair. And if it breaks on the bottom side, probably not looking at it. If anything, it might be a short play. But if we pop out of this into the oval section here, 38, 40 bucks, this is breakout potential on a beaten down stock, down well over 20%. It's got to be, right? Take a look here, 33%, so well over 20%. And another one is Activision, ATVI. We've talked about this one before, and we called it out a couple days ago, although it's not fully out of the woods yet. It is kind of playing out to how I wanted it to, right? You guys remember this downwards channel? Well, we broke the resistance of this channel today, went up 2.6%, and we're right by my alert at $81 that I said a couple of videos ago here on the channel. So I think if 81 can break, I kind of want to wait until it breaks 81 because, again, I don't think it's fully out of the woods yet, but I think if 81 does break and we get into the mid-80s, that is when we'll be out of the woods, right? Let's just put it that way, right? So if 81 breaks, watch out for 83 in the short term. That could be about a 2-3% move on ATVI, and above 83, hey, we might be going mid-80s. 85 is my next target, and above 85, that is where it could fully just explode on a stock that overall is down quite a bit from its high still, about $9 per share, which equates to about 9-10%. So watch Activision. Fastly's another one today, guys, that went pretty fast, no pun intended. Fastly up 7% at the close, up almost $6 per share. And you guys can see it found some popped out of 88, 87, 88, broke that resistance, filled the entire gap to almost $100 per share. Literally today, guys, look, it went from 82, broke 88, up to 97, almost up to 100, and now we pulled down from 97 all the way down to about $88, a 9% pull down here intraday, and it seems like we're trying to hold that 87 level, 88 as support heading into next week. I mean, we already did close above it, so the question is, are we going to hold above it next week, right? And I think if 88 can hold, there is likelihood that we can fill that gap back up to $9,700, right? Overall, Fastly is breaking the downtrend here the past couple of days, and I'm really loving this price action. It's very, very bullish. Volume kicked up today, and yeah, Fastly is one to watch. BA is another one. Not Alibaba. Boeing, guys. Ticker symbol BA. This is one that went up like 12%. Yesterday, something like that. Pre-market today it was at 244, and now it closed at 232, so it dropped a good chunk from where it was pre-market, and rightfully so. I think this is overbought. I'll be the first to tell you that, guys. I think it's overbought. We hit that ridiculously overbought price from back in June. I mean, take a look at how quick it went from 157 to 237 back in June, guys, right? It was literally a couple days, so we got overbought back in June, sold off to about 140, and we hit that same resistance from back in June, and now we're seeing some pressure there, right? And I think we might be going lower on Boeing. The uptrend is still intact, though, no doubt about it, but I think we might go down to test 220, this 50 SMA 4-hour chart, and this overall uptrend here. I think that could test, and that could end up being a dip buy. And until we do that, guys, I'm probably not going to force into Boeing here because I think it's a little bit overbought. We might be not getting the best deal, let's be honest here. And same with Tesla. I think Tesla's arguably overbought as well. We closed above 600, or actually, no, not above 600, 599. We're so close to 600, but I think it's overbought. I mean, sure, we could break 607, hit a new all-time high to 620, 630. That's definitely possible. But then again, that would be overbought as well, in my opinion. And once this hype around the S&P 500 inclusion maybe dies down a little bit, we might see a bit of a correction in Tesla. And I wouldn't be surprised if it somehow got back to the mid-500s, 550. And don't get mad at me, guys. I'm a Tesla guy. I'm not going to lie. But I think it needs to pull down a little bit. So, yeah, watch out. 530, 550, that could be a spot where Tesla could be a nice dip buy, but at this point, I wouldn't chase it. Same with Boeing. And another one here is Mastercard, MA. Mastercard's interesting, right? We ended up holding 330. We rallied off that low today, up almost 3%, hit 344 at the close of the market. And now we're about to test this overall resistance that we've been struggling at for about a couple months now, ever since the end of August, right? This resistance, we've struggled at it. We've made lower highs at this point. So I think if Mastercard can break out of, let's say, 350, we might be going straight to 367 and heck, maybe even higher, as that would be a breakout, which gives Mastercard, if that 350 level breaks, that could give Mastercard 5-7% upside from where it is right now. And Intel's another one, guys, which is at a pretty interesting spot. We rallied a ton already, no doubt, from 44 up to about 52. When you guys see the circle here, this is a big level of resistance, right? Right around $52. That's where we got rejected back in the beginning of September. That is right where the downtrend channel meets resistance, right? So this, needless to say, is massive, right? If we break out of this point, I think Intel could run high to mid 50s. I think 55 could be the target where it got to back in the middle of October. But then again, if it gets rejected here, which is also possible, like it has been the past couple of months, every time it's hit this resistance point, it's gotten rejected. I think if it gets hit, we might be going mid 40s, low 50s, definitely. I mean, we're already at low 50s. So mid 40s for sure, maybe even low 40s if this point gets rejected at. But again, if it breaks out, hey, high 50s, mid 50s is where we could be going. And Palantir, PLTR, is another one that I almost bought a little bit of today. But back to what I said earlier, I don't want to force anything on Friday unless it's a perfect setup. And this is a decent setup, but by no means is it perfect. So we're going to wait till next week and see what happens here on the hourly 180 SMA support. You guys can see it's holding it. And if I zoom in here on the 5-day, 5-minute, you can notice here we are seeing a bit of a wedge in the past 3 days of trading. So I'd like to see what direction Palantir picks here on the 5-day, 5-minute. And hopefully it picks the upwards direction. It breaks out into 24.25, which at that point, I think that could be an entry point. I've gotten questions about Lending Tree, TREE, and Best Buy, or not Best Buy. Actually, no, that is Best Buy, BBY. So let's talk about those. And by the way, if you guys want to shout out any stocks that you have questions on that you want me to talk about in the videos, feel free to drop a comment down below, and I will get to that. So Lending Tree, needless to say, is not too attractive right now, in my opinion. It's really in a downtrend. It's looking like a falling knife, and there's no real confirmation forming on this particular stock, honestly. And maybe we hold this uptrend here. It's not really an uptrend, but this overall trend line, maybe it holds, the one that I drew out here on the 4-hour chart. But if it doesn't, I can see this thing going back down to the maybe 220s, 230 level. So be careful here on Lending Tree. But honestly, with any stock that's being down, you have to also think we could see a recovery rally. So maybe a recovery rally even is in play. And if so, if this trend line holds here, maybe a recovery rally up to 255, maybe 260 here on Lending Tree. And BBY is another one. Best buy here, guys. And I told you, ever since 110, 112 breaks, if it broke, which it did, I think 100 is the target, 100, 102. And now we're down again today, 0.9% when the markets did well. So I think BBY is heading to those lows from back in the month of September, beginning towards the middle of the month of September, right around 101, 102. So that could be where it goes. I don't think the selling is over quite yet. But once we do hit 101, 102, that is where I could see a relief rally, maybe back up to 105, 110. So those are the stocks that I'm going to talk about. Well, I already talked about them. So yeah, those are the stocks for today, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. And again, if you want me to talk about any stocks on Sunday's video, shoot me a comment down below as well. And if you all enjoyed the video, found value, you might as well hit the like button. You might as well subscribe. We're trying to get 20,000 subscribers here by the end of 2020, and we're so close. We're so close. I think we can get it, and we can do it unless I get the support from you guys, which I've been getting a ton of support, and I appreciate you guys so much for following along with the journey here. So yeah, hope you all had a great week. Keep crushing the markets. Have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. And don't forget, get your 4 free stocks from WeBull down below, and I'll catch you all in the next video again. Thanks for watching.